No one ever joins a cult. They join a group that promises meaning, connection, or solutions. At first, it feels like you've finally found a place where you belong, a community that understands you and offers hope. These groups don't advertise red flags. They present a friendly, welcoming face. The atmosphere is warm, the people are enthusiastic, and the sense of acceptance is almost intoxicating. Whether it's a self-help seminar, spiritual community, or a business opportunity, the initial experience is overwhelmingly positive. You're encouraged, celebrated, and made to feel special, like you're part of something bigger than yourself. You feel seen and accepted, but this warmth is a tool for manipulation. The group's kindness is strategic, designed to draw you in and lower your guard. Gradually, the group's ideology replaces your own, and their approval becomes everything. You start to measure your worth by how well you fit in and how much you agree. This transition is so subtle, most people don't notice it happening. The shift is gradual, almost invisible, as your beliefs and boundaries are slowly reshaped. The process of subtle indoctrination preys on our need for connection and meaning. It's human nature to want to belong, to seek out people who understand us and share our values. Cults exploit noble desires, offering simple answers and structured environments, especially appealing during times of uncertainty or loneliness. When life feels chaotic, the promise of clarity and community is hard to resist. But the price is often your own mind. The cost of belonging can be your independence, your ability to think critically, and even your sense of self. A healthy community supports your individuality and outside connections. A destructive one demands your devotion and punishes doubt. True support encourages growth, not conformity. Eventually, you're asked to sacrifice your relationships and critical thinking for the group's agenda. The group's needs come first, and questioning is discouraged or even punished. The friendly face is a mask. Learning to see behind it is essential for your freedom. Recognizing manipulation is the first step toward reclaiming your autonomy. Recognizing this dynamic is the first step to protecting yourself. By staying aware and questioning what you're told, you can safeguard your independence and well-being. History is full of groups that began with good intentions but ended in tragedy. The People's Temple started as a progressive church, but ended in the Jonestown massacre after years of escalating control. NXIVM promised self-improvement, but members were manipulated, exploited, and abused under the guise of empowerment. Heaven's Gate began as a search for spiritual truth, but isolation and indoctrination led to mass suicide. In each case, members joined for community and purpose, not destruction. Charismatic leaders isolated followers and reshaped their reality until extreme actions seemed necessary. No one joins a cult to be harmed. They're deceived step by step. These stories warn us. Any group, no matter how appealing, must be examined with critical awareness. The promise of paradise can become a prison if we're not careful. Recruitment into a cult is rarely a sudden, dramatic event. Instead, it's a slow, careful seduction that unfolds over time, often so subtly that you don't even realize it's happening. It all begins with love bombing, an outpouring of affection, attention, and praise that makes you feel instantly special and accepted. The group showers you with compliments, making you feel like you've finally found your people. This overwhelming positivity lowers your defenses, making you emotionally dependent on the group's approval and eager to belong. Next comes isolation. You're subtly encouraged to spend more and more time with the group, gradually pulling away from your old friends and family. The group becomes your main source of connection. They may criticize your outside relationships, suggesting that only the group truly understands or supports you. Over time, you start to rely on them for all your emotional needs. Then comes gradual indoctrination. What starts as small, reasonable requests, like attending meetings or participating in harmless rituals, slowly escalates into bigger commitments and more extreme beliefs. Each step you take makes it harder to say no, as your sense of self and purpose becomes more and more tied to the group's identity. This three-step process, love bombing, isolation, and incremental indoctrination, works together to bypass your critical thinking and reshape your worldview. By the time you start to notice the group's true nature, you're already deeply embedded, making it incredibly difficult to walk away. Your social life, your sense of purpose, and even your identity are now intertwined with the group's beliefs and activities. Questioning the group means questioning your new life, a frightening and lonely prospect that keeps many people silent. This is how ordinary, well-meaning people can find themselves trapped in extraordinary and destructive situations, often without realizing how they got there. The trap is emotional, not logical, and that's what makes it so powerful. Destructive cults use the bite model, a framework that reveals how groups systematically break down personal autonomy and reshape identities. The 4 pillars, behavior, information, thought, and emotion control, work together to transform members' beliefs, actions, and even their sense of self. Behavior control dictates where you live, what you eat, and how you spend your time, often requiring total devotion. Daily routines are tightly regulated, and personal choices are replaced by group rules. Financial control is common, with members pressured to donate money or assets. Sometimes people are encouraged to give up jobs or property, deepening their dependence on the group. Information control limits access to outside sources and discourages contact with critics or former members. Leaders may censor news, restrict internet use, or monitor communication to keep members isolated. The group's narrative becomes your only reality, making it difficult to question or even imagine life outside the group's influence. Thought control uses loaded language and clichés to shut down critical thinking. Members are taught to repeat slogans and avoid independent analysis. Members are taught to block negative thoughts and use techniques to stop questioning. Doubts are reframed as personal weakness or betrayal. Emotion control manipulates feelings, using guilt and fear to keep people in line. Emotional highs and lows are engineered to reinforce loyalty and obedience. Happiness is conditional on group loyalty, creating an emotional trap that makes leaving feel impossible or terrifying. When all 4 pillars are present, it's a major red flag for undue influence, an environment where true freedom is lost. It's hard to assess a group from the inside, but a checklist can help. Is the leader seen as infallible, with unquestionable authority? Are doubts or dissent punished? Does the group push an us versus them mentality, isolating you from outsiders? Are you pressured to devote excessive time or money? Is leaving discouraged or punished, with former members shunned? A healthy group welcomes questions, supports outside relationships, and lets people leave with dignity. If you feel trapped or fearful about leaving, that's the biggest red flag. Your freedom to choose, including to leave, is non-negotiable. It's a myth that only weak or gullible people join cults. In reality, intelligent, idealistic, and successful people are often targeted. Their drive and resources make them valuable to the group, and their idealism is easy to exploit. High-control groups use sophisticated techniques that appeal to analytical minds, offering complex ideologies to master. Members use their intellect to justify involvement, not question it. By the time doubts arise, members have invested careers, relationships, and savings. Admitting the truth means facing immense loss and cognitive dissonance. It's not a failure of intelligence, but a testament to the power of psychological manipulation. Anyone can be vulnerable under the right circumstances. High-control groups manipulate language with thought-terminating clichés, catchy phrases that shut down critical thinking. When doubts arise, members hear, "Just trust the process," or "Don't be so negative." These clichés shift blame onto the questioner, inducing guilt and shame. Over time, members internalize these phrases, policing their own thoughts. This creates a bounded reality, where only the group's ideology makes sense. Loaded language reinforces the us versus them mentality and isolates members from outsiders. Explaining concerns becomes difficult, deepening isolation. Recognizing these phrases as tools of manipulation is key to reclaiming your mind. Language control is thought control. If someone you care about is in a high-control group, Don't confront them or attack their beliefs. This only triggers their defenses and pushes them further in. Instead, be patient and compassionate. Keep the relationship strong. Focus on shared memories and their authentic self before the group. Use curiosity, not criticism. Ask open-ended questions about their experiences and feelings. This helps them reconnect with their own critical thinking. Be a safe harbor. Let them know you'll support them no matter what. Many members have doubts but fear losing everything if they leave. Your unconditional support can be the lifeline they need. Helping someone out is a marathon, not a sprint. Leaving a high-control group is just the beginning of recovery. Former members often lose their home, job, savings, and social network, facing profound isolation. The psychological impact is severe. Shame, guilt, anger, and anxiety are common. Years of indoctrination must be unraveled, and simple decisions can feel overwhelming. Recovery means reconnecting with your authentic self, rediscovering old interests, and rebuilding relationships. Professional help and support groups are vital for healing and understanding. The path to freedom is about embracing life's uncertainties and reclaiming autonomy. Healthy communities support individuality and respect doubts. Leaving a cult is an act of courage and self-liberation. The road is hard, but it leads to genuine choice and authentic relationships. That freedom is worth fighting for.